Going sane is what week 2 of the Artist Way is about. This week is more aimed at pushing or moving you into your personal identity. It's just more of like working on your own self doubt, but not trying to like change those thoughts, but it's just to like understand and examine your own thoughts. Now, there are 4 subtopics. The first one is like poisonous playmates, and I could relate to this a lot because apparently I ended up highlighting and underlining a lot of things. I also wrote a few things in the book. But poisonous playmates are the kind of people who are like blocked, like creatively blocked friends or families. I mean, they'll support you, but they will also not support you. They'll like probably criticize you. They will project their own blocks or own doubts into you. It's like their doubts will reactivate your own. Be very careful to safeguard your newly recovering artist. As blocked creatives, we focus on our responsibilities to ourselves but not our responsibilities to others. We tend to think such behavior makes us good people. It doesn't. It just actually makes us frustrated people. Often creativity is blocked by our falling in with other people's plans, and it's just extremely important to follow your purpose and not fall into the guilt trip. These people could also be your family members. They would just can put you in a guilt trip and you'll just constantly feel so silly about doing your creativity habit or even writing your morning pages or even doing something that you have always wanted to do creatively. They'll just like make you feel so silly about it. The next thing is crazy makers. I couldn't relate to this one a lot because I don't think I have like crazy makers in my life, which I am extremely grateful for. I do not want any drama makers. So crazy makers are the people who just will create drama in your life unnecessarily and who will just like take away a lot of your time and energy. The next thing is skepticism. Now, this is something that I have dealt with a lot, and I feel like I still deal with this sometimes. Skepticism is just you being super skeptical about your own creativity and about your own habits. For example, I started writing the morning pages and I seem more awake and alert in my life. So what? She says this thing that in creative recovery, it is not necessary that we change any of our beliefs. It is necessary that we examine them. So right now in this week, it's not extremely important to change your beliefs entirely, but to understand and examine your skeptical thoughts or your self doubts. The fourth thing is attention. Now, this is something that I have been practicing myself a lot. Attention is basically to be so attentive about your present moment, to be so aware, so attentive about your environment, your surroundings, what is happening. As humans, we are just so much into our past or our future that we forget to be attentive, we forget to live in the now. The reward for attention is always healing, but what is healed finally is the pain that underlies all pain, which is unutterably alone. More than anything else, attention is an act of connection. Love this sentence is even when you are alone, you can be so connected with your environment. There's so much to be grateful for. There's so much to look around. There's so much to observe in this world. And this is something that I have been learning to do. I don't think attention is just about meditating. Meditating is like a great practice or great tool for you to get into the habit of just, breathing into your body and just paying attention to your body and everything around you. Feel like you can be attentive 24/7. Like, isn't that the entire point of being attentive? Develop interest in life as you see it, in people, things, literature, music. The world is so rich, simply throbbing with rich treasures, beautiful souls, and interesting people. Forget yourself. Sometimes it's just so important to remind yourself that there's so much more than yourself. Like, for a second, just forget about yourself, forget about all the problems that you have, forget about your goals, just forget about everything for a moment and just expand your mind to think about there are so many things in this world. There's so many interesting people. There's so many new connections that you can build. There's so much art. There's so much nature. There's this entire world out there. Exactly what we need to do is we need to pay more attention. One of my favorite artists is David Hockney, and this is exactly what he says is to look at things, to look at the world, to look around, and that in itself takes a lot of attention, of course, and that in itself, I don't know, it will just develop your own perspective of the world, is what he says, which I absolutely love. It's just how you will end up looking at the world, you will end up appreciating things, being attentive. One of the biggest gifts or one of the biggest skills in people is attention. I love when people just remember things about me because they are just so attentive in the conversation. They will ask questions, they're so curious, they're so interested in what I'm saying, and vice versa. I would love to be so attentive when I'm having a conversation with someone that, I don't have any other thoughts, and it just whatever the person is saying, I will remember it, which is such a great skill to have. Oh, I highlighted this one thing. Survival lies in sanity, and sanity lies in paying attention. Okay, there are like these 10 rules of road. In order to be an artist, I must show up at the page, fill the well, set small and gentle goals. Now, one of the most important thing for me, like the one rule that I constantly have to remember is remember that it is my job to do the work, not judge the work. I don't know why I've just fallen into this trap of judging my own work so much these days since the past few months. And I think I also said this in my week one of the artist way, where when I was doing my morning pages, I ended up writing a lot of things a few days, and the most amazing thing I was trying to do was to not judge myself or to not judge what I'm writing and not judge my work. Basically, just not judge anything that I'm doing. Again, there are 10 tasks, and I'm going to try to complete like at least 50% of them. And I have a very interesting artist date planned for this week. So basically, I have this artist friend who I met through Instagram, and she reached out to me and she had this amazing idea of doing like a stationery swap with each other, and we thought of a theme and a few things that we could send each other in a cute little package, more like a pen pal kind of a thing. And I've never done this with anyone, so I have to buy a few things like washi tape and just cute small little stickers I'm planning to buy for her. This artist date might be in two parts this week. Like, one is I just want to go and get some cute stationery for her, and the second is I'm just going to like sit and write a letter to her, and we are also going to write a recipe to each other. Yeah, I'm just going to turn this into my artist date. It's going to be cute and fun, and I can't wait to like create this cute package for her, which of course I will show you, and I'll also show you what she sends me. I'm super excited. So I just did one of my exercises, which was basically a life pie. To draw a circle, divide it into six pieces of pie. Label one piece spirituality, exercise, play, work, friends, romance, slash adventure. We just had to like put a dot on each of the slice of the pie and just try to understand where we are in the slice of pie. Excuse my speech, it's just my aligners. So if I look at my pie right now, what I feel I'm lacking, or not even lacking, what I feel where I can work on is spirituality, play, and work. Right now I feel like my work and play are very interconnected. Now take for example play. If I'm doing something creative, even if I'm making a video just for fun because I enjoy making them, even if I'm drawing something in my sketchbook, even if I'm painting something, I have this thought, and that's kind of like play for me. But I have this thought that, I have to record the process, and then comes the entire thought of outcome, the thoughts of like judging the piece of my play, what I'm doing, judging how this art or how this video is going to be. It's just a lot of like outcome focused, and then I start thinking about matrix. It's not fun. Okay, so my plays just doesn't feel like play anymore. It just becomes a lot of like outcome driven, and then it just becomes work for me. And similarly, if I talk about work, when I work, I just put so much pressure on my work, and technically my work is more of the creativity. If I put too much pressure on my work, which is basically me putting too much pressure on my creative process, it's just not great for me. Now, work and play are interconnected, but at the same time, I feel it's also connected to spirituality. I feel like I just need to let go. I was having this conversation with a friend of mine last night, and he made me realize that how I got out of one system, which was the system I was in for the longest time, which is like this traditional system of, doing an MBA, getting a job, and working in a corporate setup. And that was the structure and the system that I was in. It was extremely structured, and I decided to get out of that system, and I just put myself into another system made by me. It's just funny how we humans work. We just like get out of one system and just put ourselves into another system, and the system that is now made by me sometimes feel so structured. I'm just realizing and I'm just learning that I do not thrive on structures, which I always thought I would like. I always thought I'd thrive on routines, but at the same time I feel like I just get so bored of routines. Like there are days where I just sit and calendar block. I put a lot of things in my calendar for like a week or two, and then I will follow that for a week, but then the next week I don't end up following it, and then I just guilt trip myself so much. I just get so hard on myself for not following that routine, and then eventually hampers my entire day and hampers my work and my creative process. So I just never gave myself the permission to just let go. I did not allow myself to just let go. I did not allow myself to lose the control I have over everything. I'll give you an example. Like I have this obsessive control over my sleep schedule. I want to sleep like by 11, I want to wake up by 7. Now, if I don't end up sleeping by 11, and there are days where I don't end up waking at 7, which has been happening a lot of times. Like I don't remember I actually woke up at 7 the last few months, and I woke up at like 8:30, and then I've just been so hard on myself for waking up so late and not following my sleep schedule. And eventually I just end up thinking how I've already like wasted my day and I haven't done the thing that I wanted to do. So it's just I have so much control over my sleep schedule. Similarly, I want to control my meals and what I eat. And when I started working out for a month, I started measuring my food because I had to take enough protein, and I hated that. I genuinely hate measuring my food. So I stopped doing that after a month, and I don't measure my food anymore. There's this obsessive need to control everything. If I'm trying to control everything, I'm just not letting myself live. And that is where the spirituality comes from, and how my literally spirituality, play and work are related to each other. So what I have realized this entire week is that I really need to like lose control over everything. As a creative person, yes, we do need a structure, but I feel like I just keep putting myself into this extremely structured system, and if I don't follow it, then I just get too hard on myself, which then hampers my creative process. Oh my god, this is like extremely tough to explain, but it just makes sense in my head. So I don't know if anyone is watching this will relate to this, or I have no idea if you'll even be able to like understand what I'm saying, because I don't know if I'm doing a great job of explaining. But if my future self will watch this after 5 or 10 years, I hope she understands. I mean, I know she will understand. I know how she just grew from this. And yes, it's a journey, it's a process. So I just have to like let go. I have to just surrender, because I really don't understand how. And even though I've read a lot of books on spirituality and I know the benefits of doing this, I also have tried doing this in the past, but I am scared what's going to happen after. I am so happy to share this. I mean, this is what I want to share. I guess these are like the deep thoughts, and I'm in this journey, and these are all the things that are coming up right now when I'm reading this book, when I'm doing my morning pages. There are all these doubts coming up, there are all these thoughts, and but at the same time I'm also coming to this solution. Maybe it's not the solution, but it's just an experience that I would like to experience. Like I would really like to experience how it feels and what could happen if I just like let go and let go of the control I have over everything. I am back on my desk. I feel like I'm just on my desk the entire day. I feel like you are just going to see me on my desk the entire day, but unless I move somewhere else. So for my artist date for week 2, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm making this small art mail kind of a thing as a part of a stationery swap with an artist friend of mine on Instagram. It was actually her idea, and I thought it was so cute, like to just curate a small art mail. So we basically made a small list of things to include. It's not theme based, but a few things we can include, whatever we have made as an artist. So it's not necessary that I include only the things that I have made, which is good because I haven't made washi tape. And one funny thing I found was we have to write one recipe, and I am not really good at cooking. Okay, I mean, I don't like cook every day. I don't enjoy cooking. My cooking is super survival, but my mom loves to cook. She's an amazing cook. So I'm just going to write a recipe that she taught me when I was just learning to cook, or when I just moved out and living on my own, and when I had to learn basic cooking skills. So this was like the most easiest recipe that my mom taught me, which is also super healthy. It's called thalipeeth in Marathi. And I'm going to write my chai recipe because I'm super particular about my chai. I've curated my own chai recipe and I do not like having other chai recipes at all. With like people just add a lot of milk and I don't like a lot of milk in my tea.
When we first met, you were running away. Said it was too hard to live in this way. Wearing a gray suit and walking the same route and feeling like it was just a lie. When we first met, I was sitting alone, watching the clouds pass above my home, wishing that I could be smelling the roses instead. I was here in a castle of stone. I'll be there when you call to help you when you fall. Know that I'll be your friend. You and me till the end. You and me till the end.
A little different setup right now. Okay, before I go into my check-in, I just wanted to tell you about this book that I finished reading, The Ocean Would Paint Me Blue by Zolfa Katto. Is I don't know. I have to check how her name is pronounced, but I think I love her. I mean I don't think I love her. I love her writing. So this was her second book, and she has a debut book called As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. I absolutely loved her author's note. I loved her acknowledgement section. I love when artists or writers or anyone they also acknowledge not just people, of course they acknowledge people, but I love when they also acknowledge like different things that inspired them. There are like she's literally acknowledged Miyazaki, and there are so many other things that she's acknowledged. She has also mentioned like a few songs that she loved while writing this book, or just some sort of inspiration. Now, coming to the book, it's sad. It's about art. It's about this Syrian American girl who, like a 17-year-old girl who gets bullied at school. Her mom is dead, and she gets bullied at school for being a Muslim, for having a hijab on her head, and it just breaks your heart. I mean, it broke my heart the way people have treated her in this entire book. And for a fact, we all know that this is not just fictional, even though I mean it's a fictional story, but it's actually not fictional. Things like this are happening in the world. They have happened. I mean, there are worse things happening in the world. I don't even know how to explain. I think I just have to like still gather my thoughts around this book and write them down so that I'll be able to explain it better. I don't really do like book reviews. I make like these monthly favorites on my Instagram where I just talk about the books that I've read and just a few thoughts about them. But I feel like this book deserves like a individual video on just my thoughts, and because there's like a lot of art involved in this, because the 17-year-old girl is an artist. I mean, I also ended up painting jellyfish in my sketchbook. Okay, let's do check-in of week 2. How many days this week did you do your morning pages? We are hoping 7. Okay, I wrote my morning pages for 5 days last week, but there was this 1 or 2 days where I just ended up writing like 4-5 pages. I feel like there were just too many thoughts that were in my head. How was the experience for you? I think I already shared my experience of how I felt the entire week while doing one of my tasks. Did you do your artist date this week? Yes, I did. My artist date, I went and I got some stuff for the stationery swap that I'm doing with my artist friend. And I wrote a letter, I wrote a recipe, I got it printed. Like I also added like a cute food illustration on the recipe. I wrote postcards, I just gathered a few random journaling things that I had with me. Yeah, I mean, it was a fun thing to do, just curating cute little things, writing something for someone who you don't even know. Like, I've never spoken to her, but I've been following her since the time I started my art journey. So it was such a nice thing to do. Were there any other issues this week that you consider significant for your recovery? Describe them. Oh, yes. And again, I think I spoke about this, but yeah, I'm just like letting go of the control that I have over everything, and I'm just like focusing on the creative process more than the outcome. And I think that is extremely important and significant for my recovery right now. Like, I don't have any kind of doubts as such from other people, as this chapter also mentioned, like week 2 also mentioned, that it's more about moving into your own personal identity, and that is what has happened with me. So there were 10 tasks. I think I did 5 or 6. Where does your time go? List your 5 major activities this week. So yes, I anyway wanted to audit my week because I was just starting to feel like, like time is just passing by and I have no idea what I'm doing in my day. So I just wanted to understand where my time is going the most, and what's like the biggest chunk of my day, where is it going. It's also a fun activity to just understand and just be aware of what you're doing and what you want to do. And I just realized that there are so many things that I'm doing, but I would rather not do them, like scrolling on Instagram. I absolutely love doing that. I love internet, I love social media, but sometimes I get lost in it, and sometimes I'm just not aware and I don't know how to get out of that rabbit hole or loop. List 20 things you enjoy doing, and when was the last time you let yourself do these things? I couldn't even list 5 things when I started writing. Like, for a second my mind just went blank and I just couldn't think of the things that I enjoy doing. Like, it was just so insane for me, and I just sat for like 5-10 minutes thinking about everything that I've done, whatever I could recall, and everywhere, every situation, whatever I've done, whether I've actually enjoyed doing that. Then I started writing down the list, and that just made me realize that how maybe unaware I am, how I'm sometimes so much in my head that I don't even know what makes me enjoy things anymore. Sometimes I just don't know what makes me happy anymore, because I'm just like, I'm just doing it, but sometimes I don't know if it's genuinely making me happy or giving me joy. Yeah, I'll be starting my week 3, which is about recovering a sense of power. And I really hope to write my morning pages every day. I'm not going to force them. I just want to feel like I want to write them. And that's what has been happening since the past 3 days. Because I was just like, I was just forcing things. And when I force things, I just don't end up doing them. And in a way, forcing things is like you trying to control it. But when I write my morning pages, I just really genuinely like writing them, because it just calms my brain. My day seems a lot more nicer, and I'm a lot more like, I don't want to use the word productive, but I'm just a lot more like, I'm just doing things, like I'm not just sitting and I'm not just in my head trying to do things, but I'm actually enjoying what I'm doing and just living my day. I feel like this video has gotten like extremely philosophical and deep, but I also know the fact that it's going to get even more deeper, and my thoughts and what I say here are also going to be super, super deep, and it might be vulnerable, but I'm extremely okay with it as long as it helps you if you're watching, as long as it helps me in my progress. And the best part about doing this is that because I'm filming this, so this is like my accountability, because I know that I have to film it, so I know that I have to go through this religiously, because that's when I'll be able to even like have these thoughts and film myself sharing all these thoughts. And after week 12, I'm pretty sure if I go back and look at all these videos, it's just going to be so much progress. Like I'll be able to look at my own progress, which is so cool. I will see you in my next week.